Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Sheared podcast, home of people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed, and I want to welcome you into the morning show. Sorry about that, my friends. I had a really interesting thought this morning that I wanted to share with y'all. And I, if you're like me, when you wake up in the morning, you have this immediate train of thought. You ever seen the movie Inside Out from Disney? Where they have like an actual train just kind of going always through the person's head, the train of thought. That's what I have whenever I'm awake. And immediately when I awake in the morning, usually about the same time the sun comes up, I'm immediately on the grind, immediately thinking about something. And what I was thinking about this morning was this idea of freedom is not free. Usually one of the first things I do is I go on Twitter. I open it up and I look at all the stuff on my timeline, and you know what's unbelievable to me is how many people are supporting Hamas, how many people are taking the line of the Nazis, and they want to pretend like this is some new idea and they're all about freedom and democracy. Meanwhile, they're using the same rhetoric as Joseph Goebbels did back in World War II in the 40s. They want to pretend like this is new and they're just anti-Zionist. Well, my friends, I would like to remind all of you good liberals in the audience that it was your hero, MLK Jr., who said that anti-Zionism is equivalent to anti-Semitism because they mean Jews. So, now that I got that out of my system, how are you this morning? You having a good day? You get done anything that you wanted to get done today? Good. Good, I like to hear that. Everything all good? Did you enjoy breakfast? Oh, you didn't eat it? Well, that's unfortunate. Well, my friends, the whole point of the show today is to drive home one simple concept, and that is that freedom is not free. It's a sublime expression. It's some that's used in politics all the time. But I don't want to use it in the political arena this morning. You can if you want. But I would like to more focus upon as it relates to personal accomplishment, individual achievement. You know how weird it is to me that I look at people who say they want to be extraordinary. First of all, when you break down the word extraordinary, it means extraordinary, above average, different, set apart. But yet so many people want to be extraordinary, and yet they just try to live the same normie life as everybody else. Whether it's they get married, whether it's they don't want to take a ton of risk, whether it's they just want to keep substituting their time for money. A lot of people don't understand that to achieve in life, you must sacrifice. You must surrender something. You can't just get without giving. That is one of the fundamental laws of nature, is sow you sow, so shall you reap. But so many people, they don't understand that part. They don't get that in order to receive something, you must first give. And it's easy to give the things you don't care about or you're kind of indifferent about. Those things are easy to give up. We give those up all the time. But it's a little more difficult to give up the things that you actually like in the name of what you want to achieve. And one of the things that I really think so many people are unwilling to give up is their programming. Whether it be from society, from religion, people are unwilling to give up because they want. Live so much of our lives focused on what other people think about us. That is one of the hardest things to sacrifice, is your own self-image, which a lot of times isn't even accurate, because you'll see yourself one way and then someone else will see it completely different, and then you all have no idea that this different version of yourself exists. But if you want to have freedom in your life, you want to have autonomy, you want to be self-sufficient, you need to sacrifice your desire to be normal. It's really easy to sacrifice being normal when it comes to certain areas, but everybody's different. The hardest thing to sacrifice, I believe, for men especially, is this idea of being married. Because we're pushed that we should be married. And part of us thinks that, oh, that's what I'm meant to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Well, You only think that because you've been told that that is what your biological instinct says. I had a conversation with one of my best friends the other day. Love him to death. He just doesn't understand the way that I think, and I don't blame him. It's hard to understand this concept if you haven't had to experience it. I get it. I totally understand it. That's why I don't harbor animosity to people who don't understand what I'm talking about. When it comes down to it, we're told that whether it's from the feminists who've taken over the educational system, whether it's from religion that hasn't been updated since 2000 BC when Abraham was around, or when it comes to society, when it comes to tax benefits, we are pushed in this idealism. We are dipped into this idealism of monogamy, and that we're supposed to just get married and have children, and then if it doesn't work out, then it's the man's fault, he didn't do enough, and then it's just that one person, and then you married the wrong person, even though you married them because they thought they were the right person, they weren't the right person, and then you got to move on and find someone better. That's what people referred to as the Matrix, this idea of living in like this fake synthetic reality that's just full of holes. It's like the rat race. You ever heard this concept of the rat race, where everybody's running and doing the same thing and you don't even realize it? That's what I'm talking about. You have to sacrifice to get, if you want to get away from that, you can't just decide to get out of it and you're out of it. No, you have to work to get out of it. I see people on TikTok in my generation of Gen Z, they talk about how the 9-to-5 grind sucks. They're unhappy. They don't want to be working in corporate America. They don't like it. It doesn't make them feel good. Their mental health's unfortunate. They want to get out of it. You need to, if you want to get out of that, you got to sacrifice to get out of it. It takes time, effort, and discipline and definiteness of purpose to get out of the rat race. You look at people that are really popular content creators. You look at people who have separated themselves out of the rat race, out of the everyday normie lifestyle, and you wonder how they did it. They had to sacrifice over a long period of time, and then they were able to break out. But people want to then kind of break out, but then dip back into the rat race when it makes them feel good. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is, for example, you could be a content creator, right? You could be making a bag off of doing what I do, what I'm doing right now, making content online. But then you then decide that you want to be married. You then decide that you want to be a part of the rat race, but on your terms, not on their terms. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work, because then you end up having one foot in one world and one foot in the other. And then you get ripped apart because you can't stand on the line. It doesn't work. You got to choose a side. You got to be in the rat race or outside the rat race looking in. You can't have it both ways. And yet that's what people seem to want. They want to have an extraordinary job, an extraordinary career, an extraordinary lifestyle, but then have an ordinary girlfriend, an ordinary friend circle, and live in an ordinary place and associate with ordinary people. It doesn't work that way. You can't do it like that. That's, again, you want to have your freedom for free. Your freedom costs you something. It might even cost you your sanity. You ever think about this? No, you don't know what I'm talking about. See, this is the problem. I'm not trying to imply you're stupid when I say that. What I'm saying is, those who see will always see, and those who don't tend to never see it. And maybe I'm just not explaining it in a way that makes sense. But for those of you who are on the outside, you know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. It's not because I just want to be patronizing to you. It's because I want to break away myself, and I'm sacrificing every day to get there. You want the same thing? That's great. If you don't, then that's fine. Go back to the rat race. Go back to living your life like everyone else, and while complaining about how you don't see what's coming down the pipe. You look at stories in like mythology, for example. You look at Odin. Odin sacrificed his eye for knowledge. There's always a sacrifice that is required to gain. If If you want to be rich, you can't just live the normie minimum wage lifestyle and then expect to make millions of dollars. It doesn't work that way. You have to sacrifice, maybe live in your car, maybe live like broke for a little while until you start making it, and then you'll make it, and then your investment will pay off. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm low-key bumming it right now because I'm investing everything I have into this show and into my content and publishing the book that I'm now have. It takes time and discipline and effort to get where you want to go. It takes sacrifice. Your freedom is not free. And Law 40 of the 48 Laws of Power states that you should despise the free lunch because it is always inferior. And unless you want to be inferior, I suggest you stop going for things that are free because nothing is actually free. You're paying for it. You're just not paying with money. You might be paying with your health, paying with your sanity. You don't think about these things, but paying with energy, attention, time. You don't understand these things. It takes experience to see this. My friends, I want you to not let your motivation take you off the path. I want you to make sure that you realize that you must sacrifice to achieve. And if you want to achieve, you must be willing to not be normal. In every regard, not just the ones that make you feel good or that are easy. Let's stop being mediocre and let's start making a difference. My friends, let's separate ourselves from the masses who are getting sheared every day of the week. Let's not be like them. My friends, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. We're out of here. Peace out. Have a great day. Let's win this, shall we?